Here's how I made my foam board conversation hearts. First, I started out at Lowe's and I got this big sheet of foam board. It is 8 foot by 4 foot and it is 0.78 inches thick. Then I used a white acrylic marker to outline the heart shape that I liked. I found this one on Canva and I'm using my projector to get this to the scale that I want. You can do whatever scale you want. This is my hot foam tool to cut out the shape. You can use whatever you want to cut this out. And then once I had that template, I went ahead and traced this on the rest of my foam board so I could get the rest cut out. I decided I wanted my hearts to be a little thicker, so I sandwiched two together using Loctite all-purpose construction adhesive, and then I let that sit overnight before I started painting. Now, some colors do require an underpainting of white. For instance, this is kind of like priming your board because lighter colors will not show up as well and you will need several coats. Even though I did a layer of white, I still ended up doing a couple of layers of the pink. Other colors like this go on a lot easier and you do not need to use a white underpainting, but experiment with getting this on however you want to do it. Yellow is definitely a color that you want to use white underneath so that it will pop and look more vibrant. Then I used a red acrylic marker to write the words that I wanted to put on my hearts. And the fun thing about this is you can choose whatever you want to. And then I just went over that to make it a little bit more bold. I choose to use a varnish or water-based polyurethane to coat my projects. This isn't what makes them waterproof. This just gives them an extra layer of protection and keeps the colors from fading. Then I used my hot foam tool again to poke some holes in between the boards. So here I am making some holes right here because I'm going to use some rebar or some wooden dowel rods to put this in the ground. These are for personal use, so it's a little bit different than how I normally secure all of my props that you can see there in the background, but I'm experimenting with things and then I kind of pass along the knowledge to you guys. So I'm going to use this wooden rod here in two places to see how well they hold up. Now, you may be a little bit skeptical. You may live in a different climate than I do. Definitely use whatever you feel comfortable with doing. I'm in Texas. It's pretty mild, but I got a hammer and my wooden dowels or my rebar, and I decided to get these set up in my backyard so I could get this tutorial out for you guys so you could see it. It's the beginning of January, so I don't want to set these out in the front yard right now, but I hammered my wooden dowels in. I only did one right now, again, just to show you guys how to set these up temporarily, but I did do 2 holes so that they won't spin around. So I'm getting these all into the ground, and I like to do mine kind of where they weren't all facing the same direction, and I think they turned out pretty cute. Again, this is just how I did mine. You can take this idea and run with it however you want. Different colors, different sizes, different ways of securing them, and I just wanted these to kind of be two-dimensional when I do put them out into the front so I can see both sides of them and they still look great from either direction. So it is a little bit different than what I normally do, but we'll see how it turns out.